Well, the number one problem that I see with the establishment strategy is it's anachronistic. It's basically we're trying to refight the last war, the Cold War, when our troops were facing dozens of Russian and East German divisions that threatened our troops in central West Germany in the Fulda Gap. Today, they're trying to continue that same sort of strategy. Oh, they'll say that if we remove our troops, it's going to embolden Putin because then we'll be able to no longer be able to transit our forces to Poland or the Baltics. That's a wrong-headed strategy.
And since, in these months and have since passed since July, are we seeing any of these troop movements? Are troops leaving Germany? Are they being redeployed elsewhere? What's the latest on that?
Well, there's been a lot of pushback in the defense establishment to doing it because of what they're saying about the threat to our relations with the Germans. They're also not paying. They're also having a schizophrenic thinking. If we move our troops too close to the Russians, well, they might nuke us or they might threaten our troops. We spent 40 years during the Cold War deterring the Soviet Union. And they also say that the cost of moving those troops is in the billions. But won't it cost more to send our troops to repel the occupation of the Russians in the Baltics, in Poland, or if they were to make moves against Romania or our allies in the Black Sea area?
And talk to me about some of the support that you've been receiving from people who are living in the Baltic states in response to your piece that you wrote and published this week.
Well, I received a lot of feedback and thanking me for making this piece because the leaders of the Baltic states have been asking for redeployment to the Baltics for well over a decade now. I mean, they joined in 2004. We saw the way that the Russians invaded Ukraine, the way that they invaded Georgia. They would just roll right over the Baltics. And our current strategy that the establishment has is you're on your own. So they thanked me for bringing attention to it.
And when it comes to a potential Biden presidency, you've discussed before here on Tipping Point on One American News about Joe Biden's decades-long history of appeasement, especially when it comes to Russia, going back all the way to the 1980s.
Well, if you look at Joe Biden, he opposed every single effort to give the United States an edge over the Soviet Union nuclear threat, whether it was the Trident missile, which is the backbone of our current nuclear defense apparatus, or the MX missile. Well, the one thing that we're not seeing is a plan by Joe Biden to get the Russians to take nuclear weapons from the battlefield off their strategy. If they were to invade, then they would be able to say that they would use nuclear weapons if we were to try to retake the Baltics, we were to try to retake Poland. So we need to see a strong strategy from Joe Biden about taking nuclear weapons and the battlefield nukes off the table.